Hey everybody, it's Rolly, and I wanted to welcome you back to another quick chat. And today I'm having a chat with Charlotte Hillenbrand. And so Charlotte is actually coming to us from Australia. And I was just saying before we jumped on live that is one of my bucket list places to be able to go to. Has always been there, and Egypt have been two places that I've really wanted to be able to go for a really long time. So those are one of these days. That's going to be my plan of being able to get there. So welcome, Charlotte. How are you?
Thank you. Yes, I'm well, thank you. We're sitting here in end of summer for us in Australia.
Yeah, well,
and I'm originally from Sweden, so I know all about cold and snowy winters as well. So yes, it is a nice life here in Queensland.
Beautiful. So, yeah. So are your winters like cold when it's switched back to winter?
No, I still have to call them winters in quotation marks. Up here in Queensland, the nighttime temperature might drop down to 6 degrees where I am, and that's 6 degrees Celsius, so that's still plus. And the winter day is 20 degrees. That's a cold winter day.
Yeah, so that's definitely, like you said, those are winters.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
I can handle those kind of winters. So we've the cold, blustery winters. We've had a few cold days. It's a little bit warmer. We're starting to get a little bit warmer, but our southern friends are actually apparently having snowstorms, so they can keep them. And I'm going to cross my fingers that they don't come our way. And because we have more than enough snow, I think. But hey, Amy, how's it going? So Amy is joining us. So, but yeah, so that's really interesting. So I love the fact that we are connecting with women all over the world. So, so we were just talking about your presentation, and so Charlotte is one of our speakers who is going to be providing a pre-recording that is going to be in what we call the video room, where you'll have access to her content. So she's actually talking about headstrong equals warm-hearted. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about like what that means, Charlotte?
Well, I've been working as an airline pilot for 17 years, and I think that the perception of those are that we are quite cool-headed and strong people. I was made redundant a few months ago, like a lot of my colleagues as well, and from other industries, of course, as well. I've had a reason to think a lot about resilience, and I've found that my resilience comes and my being able to keep a cool head, a strong head, comes actually from the warmer parts, the softer values, and a warm heart, just being authentic and staying me. And I've found, because I am very interested in the brain, how we work, how we function, how we can shape our lives so much with our thoughts. So I've read up a lot about resilience, and I find that comes from being able to be present, being in the moment, being grateful, and all those softer values as well. So I found that very interesting and very, very reassuring.
It definitely is. And then it kind of gets me wondering, like, oh, I'm in big trouble, because I definitely am headstrong. So anybody that knows me knows that I am an Aries fire sign, and so that's my sun sign, and I'm definitely ready to like keep going. And then I have a lot of other fire signs in my chart. So I am very much headstrong, and when there's something that needs to be done, I can get it done. But when there's something that fires me up, boy, am I in trouble. So I really need to learn how to be able to kind of cool things down, slow things down a little bit. So because I do get a little bit hot-headed or hot-tempered, and that's still no excuse, but it's still part of my temperament. So as you're saying that, it's like, uh-oh, I'm in big trouble.
I don't think you are. I think we just need to be ourselves. But it's interesting just to be aware of some of our thought patterns, as you know as well. At least now you were reflecting on it and you go, uh-oh. And maybe there'll be times for you and for the other listeners out there where they can go that way too. And just that thinking allows you that little extra moment of reflection, and you might choose another path, or at least you are not just going on autopilot. You are actually aware of what your patterns are.
That I definitely am.
Yeah.
It has been something that I have dealt with for a long time, except for that I say that, but at the same time, I've also been that shy, quiet kid. So it's just kind of take a step back and see where things are going. And so Kathy says, hi, hope all is well. So, hey, Kathy, nice to see you on here. So it's, but it really is great to be able to, when we bring a number of different people together, right? So how long were you an airline pilot?
About 17 years.
So 17 years. So what have you shifted into doing now that you're no longer a pilot at this point?
Oh, you know what? When I lost my job, I realized that I wasn't looking for another job right away. I was looking for me, and I've allowed myself time to really recalibrate. And what I want to do is speak about things that I just mentioned, about how we can use our brain and our thoughts, our thought patterns, our habits for a better life, a better balance, a clearer career path, if that's what you want. It is such a useful tool we've got in here. It is more powerful than any rocket ship, and I think we can just learn to that we are the ones who've got power over it.
So, and I really like how you said that, right? So like we have that power. And earlier today I was talking with Maggie, and we were talking about the whole theme of the conference is that I am enough, right? So that little monster or whatever it is you want to call it, the hamster wheel that goes on in our head sometimes, is that it really does drive our motivation, right? So like it allows us to be able to have a clear perspective, but at the same time, it also tends to hold us back as well, right? So that nervousness, those worries, and all those different things. And so you, along with a number of other women, are sharing those gifts and those tools that we can have access to. So it's really incredible to be able to have those different perspectives. And I love the fact that out of that, because you were talking about resiliency, right? So out of that, you were actually able to say, okay, so I lost my job. And I'm sure that it was devastating initially, but then it was like, no, I can take a look at this from a different perspective. I can reevaluate where my life is and where I want my life to go. Because after 17 years, that's a long path of having to do some shifting and changing.
Yeah, it is a long time. And it's also such a specific work that I was doing, and people talk about transferable skills and that there are a lot of transferable skills. In the beginning, that was difficult for me to see because it is so specific. Now I can see that more clearly, but even so, you come out from a very, very regimented environment that everything was monitored, everything was done for a reason in a specific sequence. And now I've got, it's up to me now what I do. I don't have to ask anyone's permission. I don't have to have a stamp or a certification. I can just choose what I want to do.
And that is so invigorating, isn't it?
Very invigorating. But it's huge. And I've had to dig deep into my courage to even sort of dare to walk without those confines.
Yeah, because you're right. Like if you're there's some pretty big damage if you don't follow all the regulations and you don't do all the things that you need to be doing, because then you're putting a number of lives at risk. Right? So but you actually have that free flow that allows you to be able to kind of shift that thinking and be able to kind of shift things over.
Yeah, there was no room for error before, so now I really have to learn to allow trial and error, really, and that, you know, it's not a matter of life and death anymore. I can take a wrong step down a path that might not be the right path, but that's okay. If it's not right, I'll just backtrack and find another path.
So, and I love that. I love how we can actually take a look and see where things are kind of going, and where we can actually shift those patterns and shift those ideas. And so, I really truly honor you in having the courage of being able to say, "Hey, I can do this," because you could have found another path that was similar, or that something that had all those regimented skills, or you could have immediately tried to find work. Once we get over that initial, like, oh my God, I just lost my job after 17 years, right? Because that is like, no matter who it is, that's like a sucker punch in the gut, right? So it's like, oh my God, what happened? And so, so being able to learn how to be able to shift with that. So, because I think that that's important for people to understand that because I know that some people are like, yeah, but like I should just be moving on. Sometimes we need to just be able to just be in that moment and feel that emotions. So, and I'm sure that that's one of the things that happened with you initially, is that you had to first deal with those initial emotions.
Yes, yes and no, I will say, because I have found out I am a brilliant reframer. So right away, I saw this as opportunities, so many possibilities. Like I said, an open plane, I can choose whatever. And thankfully, I think that was a defense mechanism as well, maybe. And now, about 4 months after the redundancy, things are starting to trickle back. And I guess that's, I'm now being drip feeded, and I have to sort of deal with them on a smaller scale, because I was able to shift it into something really positive when it happened.
Beautiful. And sometimes that is really hard to have that reframe, right? So sometimes that's one of the biggest challenges that people have, is to be able to find that positive out of something that potentially is devastating in our lives. And so that really does go back to show that whole resiliency. So so that's beautiful. So so one of the things that I wanted to be able to share is that due to so those errors, right? So those, when we're actually talking about those errors, is that there was a typo, and so our 222 offer is actually extended until tomorrow because of an error, a typo that went out for, I don't even know how far it went, but it went out far enough. And so there was a typo that had happened. And so with one of the marketing emails. And so it has been extended until tomorrow, so that way the person didn't have to go back and retract their emails. So, but registrations are still only open until Thursday. So you definitely want to be able to get in your registration so that you have access to this conference. And I've been talking to Charlotte and a number of people who are talking about all the different things that are actually going on, and there's lots of running wheels going on in the back end that everybody's like, okay, where am I supposed to fit? What am I supposed to do? Where do I go? And so so once you guys come in, it'll be smooth sailing for you from the front end, or at least that's our goal. And but while we're navigating the back end, and so just so that everybody is aware that there's a lot of moving parts in this, and because there are things like Charlotte's presentation that's going to be in the video room, we're going to have different opportunities for us to be able to virtually chat like we're doing face-to-face with Charlotte, but we're also going to have some opportunities to be able to hear some live speakers, as well as being able to connect with some of our exhibitors that are going to be sharing their products and services as well. So there's lots of moving parts with this, and on Monday, all of the swag boxes are going to be going out for all the registrations. So we are super excited about the contents that are actually in there and the things that are there, so that everybody has their boxes by the time that the March 5th comes along. And the whole point of the conference is about being able to build up that resiliency, but to also to be able to have that connection, that human to human connection, as human to human as we can be virtually, and being able to have this connection so that we have that opportunity to talk and to chat and to connect from a different perspective. So we've all been chatting online, we've all been doing different things virtually, and but just being able to connect with somebody who has been in the same boat as you, Charlotte, right? So somebody who's like, oh my gosh, my job has been redundant, but I've been struggling with what it is that I need to be doing or how I need to be moving forward. Whereas you will have those, you've had that experience where you can actually potentially help being able to reframe that perspective of, okay, well, what about this? And like you said, when you were looking at transferable skills, at first you were like, yeah, no, there's no transferable skills. And now you're able to see that differently.
Yeah, I think when we're too close to something in the beginning, when that redundancy hit, your vision becomes a little bit blurred. So yeah, it takes some distance. Sit on your hands, lean back, relax for a bit, take a breath, rather than just frantically go out there and write your resumes and whatever. At least, a few days or whatever. Hopefully people are able to take that time and just to get out of the panic mode.
Yeah. And because it's that fight, flight, and freeze, right? So when something happens that causes that anxiety, then it's like, okay, where am I going to go? It's like that deer in the headlights trying to figure out where do I go next?
Yes.
And so this is beautiful. So I am looking forward to being able to connect with you further during this conference. Sorry, you were about to say something. What were you going to say?
No, so am I. I'm really excited about being part of this. I thank you for the opportunity.
So I am interested to see how all of this is going to go with people that have signed up from different parts of the world. So it's actually over a long period of time during the weekend. I know that some of the conferences that I've attended virtually have been set up where there's people that are at different times, at different time zones that have actually switched their entire routine and their days so that their days and their nights are literally mixed up so that they can actually participate in the conference. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody is able to kind of come together and join in the conference. So I'm looking forward to that. And
I think it's brilliant too that you do have that video room, like you said, because then whenever people log on, there'll be something for them to see.
Yeah. So we're going to have the videos. Any of the live speakers are not going to be in there for 10 days. So so you'll be able to actually go in there, but the exhibitors booths are going to be available. We have a private Facebook group for people to be able to chat. We also have like a live chat conversations that are going to be able to happen throughout the conference as well. So there's lots of interesting opportunities for us to be able to have some connections. So I'm looking forward to being able to have those different opportunities to be able to connect. And so we have an amazing team in the back end, like Charlotte, that is able to share their knowledge and their support. And so definitely couldn't do any of this without any of you. So thank you again so much. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know. Either myself or Teresa will be happy to get back to you. And again, looking forward to connecting with you again, Charlotte, and have a fabulous day, everybody. And so is it daytime there right now, or is it?
Yes, morning, 9:15 for me in the morning. Tuesday morning.
So you're Tuesday morning and we're still on Monday evening. So we're just getting ready to gear up to go to bed, and Charlotte is just gearing in for the rest of her day. So
well, I can tell you the future is bright.
That's beautiful. So I will chat with all of you guys later, and I am not back on tonight at any time to be able to introduce anyone else, but I do have a few people tomorrow that I am connecting with. So I'm looking forward to everybody, and have an enjoyable day or evening. So have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.